Hey guys, we're back. It's Matt Myers with Flippers Diving, and we have got a cool one for you today. The first ever Flippers Diving spearfishing workshop and expedition. Put our heads together with the guys over at Nautical Divers, and we came up with the idea that, hey, we want to give people an opportunity to learn how to spearfish offshore Northeast Florida, and what better way to do it than on the best possible dive boat out there, the RV Explorer. So check out their setup, guys. If you haven't been offshore with these guys, they have an absolutely phenomenal dive boat. But what we wanted to do with this project was give an opportunity to divers to complete a workshop with us, whether you are an experienced spear fisherman or you've never touched a spear gun in your life. We wanted to put together a workshop to teach people really A to Z, everything from how do the spear guns operate, how do you shoot them, how do you hunt, how do you stalk, what are the protocols in North Florida for diving in terms of hot drops, free ascents, using SMBs, diving and hunting with a buddy, fish identification, what are the species that we're targeting out here. So really we put together this workshop and we'll be teaching these one each month throughout the season. And hopefully, we'll repeat it again next year. So if it's something you're interested in doing, please hit us up, flippersdiving.com. But this was our first workshop, and the stuff you're seeing right now is the workshop portion. So we did an entire evening of spear gun instruction. We had videos, we had multiple guns and tools and accessories. So we could really walk our participants through A to Z what they were going to expect when they got out there the next day and did the charter, and we put these skills to the test. So we had a really great turnout. Our group is limited to 6 maximum divers, and we do that because we don't want to go spearfishing and have, a dozen, 2 dozen people in the water. So we limit these workshops to a very small group of people. And then when we get out and do the actual diving, we cut it down even further where we're only putting 2 or 3 people in the water together at a time. So 3 dives. First dive was range practice. Really the goal of this whole first dive was to just get comfortable using the equipment, loading the guns, firing, shooting the guns, reloading the guns, and doing that underwater, right? Underwater, these things tend to come alive. Problems pop up that you really didn't anticipate, because not only we are down there messing around with spear guns, but we're scuba diving, right? We got to watch our gas, our bottom time, watch the marine life, make sure that we get back to the boat, all of that stuff. This first dive was on some artificial reef here out of Jacksonville. It was a culvert site. We're in about 80 foot of water, give or take. And so we spent the first half of the dive just running through the guns, and then we went ahead and started practicing, swimming around, stalking, body position, being able to fire the gun and start to identify some of the species that we were going to be targeting. So I worked very closely with the participants here to tour this site and start pointing out the stuff we were learning about the night before, right? Mangrove snapper, grouper, triggerfish we saw. We're looking for flounder on these sites. I really like these artificial reef sites because there is so much life on them, and while you might not see it like right here, stuff is hiding everywhere. These sites are really cool. They give them all kinds of nooks and crannies to hide in, so pulling out a dive light and having your gun on the ready, you can really put some awesome fish in the cooler. And we did on this dive. We got a number of mangrove snapper, along with a bunch of lionfish as well. I didn't have my lionfish container on me, but a couple of the other guys did, and they did really, really well on lionfish on this first dive. So our second dive of the day, the emphasis here was hot drops, because for those of you guys that are doing private boating out in Northeast Florida and doing spearfishing, this is the most common way that we drop in on sites. We don't anchor. We literally will drop a very small team. So for example, on this site, it was just the 4 of us, my buddy running the camera, 2 of the students in the workshop, and that's me there with the blue fins on. We hot drop on these sites, meaning there's no anchor line. You are doing a very rapid, quick, free descent all the way to the bottom, following a shot line. And the beauty of that is you never have to worry about coming back to an anchor line, right? We're able to hit the edge of that ledge and just start swimming, and we swam the whole thing until we ran out of ledge. And we didn't have to worry about turning around and coming back and locating that anchor line. So it really helps to maximize the amount of hunting time. On this dive, we're at 120 feet, right? Bottom time is tight. We don't have a lot of time to mess around. And it really works to our advantage, but you've got to be comfortable and know what's going on when you hit the water. So your gear is squared away, your gun is ready to go, you hot drop, boom, down to the bottom. And then when it's time to come up, you're gonna have to do a free ascent. And so we're teaching the people in the workshop how to use an SMB, how to deploy it at depth using a spool. What do you do with your fish, right? All of these things need to be considered on top of just being down there and hunting for fish. So the two guys I was with here, that's Dan right there, closest to the camera, and right behind him is Tony. They had an awesome experience. Tony never touched a spear gun in his life, and you're gonna see something pretty cool here in just a minute. Had a couple of ladies in the class. That's Bailey on the bottom there, and Renee was right above her. This is Brent. Brent is a lionfish just slaughterer. He's everywhere. There's Tony shooting his first fish ever on the third dive of the workshop. So here it is. He's gonna land this mangrove snapper. Bam. Never stood a chance. And we had a really great time showing him how to get it strung up, handling the gun, getting that fish back up on the boat so he could take it home and enjoy it. So really had a pretty cool experience there with Tony and the rest of the crew. So again, our last dive here was really just emphasis. We still did hot drops again. We did free ascents, but it was emphasis on hunting techniques and skills. Everything from how are you positioning yourself in the water? What kind of finning techniques are you using? Is your equipment streamlined, right? Do you have stuff dangling and catching on stuff, or are you an efficient swimmer moving through the water? And so all of these things we're trying to consider and work on throughout the workshop. And I think at the end of the day, everybody had just a tremendous experience. We did come home with a cooler full of fish, and I'm really looking forward to the next workshop, which will be in a few weeks here, and we have several others scheduled throughout the season. So if it's something you're interested in doing, reach out to us, give us a shout here at Flippers Diving. Just jump on our website, flippersdiving.com, and shoot us a message, and we'll try to get you the information you need to help you participate. So here we are doing a free ascent. That's me demonstrating deploying an SMB. We're in about, the depth there is about 85, 90 feet to the bottom, so we're probably at around 60, 70 feet here. Had some really great visibility. Conditions have been great lately. We had 80-degree water temperature, which is pretty uncommon for this time of year out of Jacksonville. And we had, call it 60, 70-foot visibility. It was really phenomenal. So there we go, deploying the SMB. And the reason we do that is there's no anchor line. So the boat doesn't really know exactly where we are. They have an idea, they know where they dropped us, they know where the dive site is, but the minute they see an SMB on the surface, boom, they know where they're at. They can get that boat over to us and help recover us, get us back on the boat. So big thank you. There's Captain Will on the right. Thank you to him and his crew, Rob. They did a tremendous job. I love going out on that boat. It is literally so amazing. I mean, they take care of you from A to Z, everything from the elevator to get you on and off the boat to eating pizzas on the way home. Nautical Divers is the group to go out with. But great job to everybody involved. Love the workshop and looking forward to the next one. Catch you soon, guys.